Recently, I acquired two PCs for a very good price, that being $15 for the both of them, plus a keyboard. Normally, I wouldn't make this a two-part video, but I lost my flash drive that would allow me to boot into an OS. So for the time being, this is part one. I will be restoring these computers and seeing what they have to offer. Let's go. My first course of action for both of these computers was to see what hard drives they were and if they were even functional. As like I said in my last video, I will be using these for storage in my own PC. Okay, let's check this out. Be very careful. Ooh, so these are 1 terabyte Seagate drives. These are actually kind of nice. I definitely scored on this PC with the first hard drive, but let's see what the other PC has to offer. I believe I already took the screws out of the PM. We'll just have to wait and see. They are hard drives, of course, so they're not that good. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, so this is a Western Digital hard drive. This is what I was expecting. Let's check it out. 250 gigabyte. Okay. This second PC is what I was expecting, a 250 gigabyte Western Digital Blue hard drive. Definitely not as good as the first, but I'll take it. Anyways, I wanted to check the RAM in this computer. I assumed it had 2 gigabytes because I only pulled out one stick and it was a 1 gigabyte stick. So logic would assume that the other stick was a gigabyte, but I just wanted to be certain, so I'm taking them both out. I'm gonna check both RAM sticks. I only checked one and the one had 1 gigabyte. And both of them had 1 gigabyte RAM sticks, but I just want to make sure there's more than one, or it's probably 2. So yeah, 1 gigabyte, 1 gigabyte, and I believe these are DDR3, just normal DDR3 sticks. Taking both RAM sticks out confirmed my suspicion. This PC definitely has 2 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. Nothing crazy, and honestly something to be expected for a PC this dated. Anyways, I packed this PC up and now we're gonna try and boot into them. These PCs didn't come with cables, but I already had power cables and VGA cables lying around, so I was very easily able to get these things plugged in. Anyways, the PC didn't boot, and neither did the second one. At this point, I thought the computers were faulty, so I decided to put the hard drives in a burner PC to see if they worked. We Frankenstein this computer together. Lucky for me, the hard drive was getting recognized by BIOS. So the hard drive is recognized. I even tested the functionality of the hard drive in the BIOS, and it definitely worked. Okay, well, I did a quick test and it passed. Booting into the PC, it definitely worked, but the hard drive was now not getting recognized in the Windows File Explorer. It has not even recognized the hard drive. Even listing the disks through disk partition wasn't showing anything, so this one genuinely had me dumbfounded. After researching it a bit online, somebody said to turn off fast boot, as that might have been causing an issue, especially considering these hard drives were on older computers. After booting into Windows, I immediately went to DiskPart to check and see if the disk would now be recognized. Okay, that worked. Disabling fast boot actually worked. Interesting. After all of that, I finally reformatted this disk to be used in my PC. And just to make sure, I booted the PC back up but with fast mode enabled, and it actually worked after reformatting the drive. Now that I figured out this wasn't a hard drive issue, I wanted to figure out why these PCs weren't booting. I mean, they didn't even go to BIOS. So I did the most basic of troubleshooting and decided to just reseat all the power cables. Yeah, this is CPU power. I'm just gonna reseat the cables. After reseating the power cables, we got something. So I assume it's trying to boot. After reseating the cables, we actually got some sort of boot screen. And I quickly realized this was probably due to the RAM either being corrupted or just not being seated properly. And after reseating the RAM, we actually got in. I also tried booting to an OS with this SSD I had in my burner PC that had a Windows installation on it, but that didn't work. Since I was able to boot to BIOS, I was finally able to see the correct specs of the PC and it had a Celeron i7-5500 Core 2 Duo. Now it's time to clean up and restore these PCs. So I'm going to start by taking off the CPU cooler and seeing what's under the hood. Wow. Look at that. Yikes. Holy. That is disgusting. Despite the cooler being fairly dusty, I was not expecting this. In fact, I rarely ever see the socket itself for the CPU get dusty or dirty, but this thing was just drenched in dirt and just dust. I decided to bring the PC outside and use an air compressor to dust all of the dirt away. Holding my breath, dude. I do not want to breathe this. Alright, here we go. After cleaning everything out and getting the computers into a presentable state, I decided to clean off and reapply some thermal paste to the CPUs, using some isopropyl alcohol and a paper towel. I got the majority of the excess thermal paste cleaned off, and I'd say the CPU looks pretty good. I say we did a good job at cleaning these up. You can definitely notice a difference. I also cleaned off any thermal paste that was on the CPU coolers as well. I reinstalled the CPU and applied a new layer of thermal paste. I'm just going to do a little After reinstalling the CPU, I booted up the PC and was met with a beep. This honestly kind of scared me at first. Maybe because there's no RAM in the computer. We might need some RAM. It turns out I just booted the PC without any RAM, so crisis averted. I put new RAM in and it booted just fine. Look at that, it booted, yay! Anyways, that's about it for this video. I know I said there's going to be a part 2 for this video, and as of the time of recording this, I have still yet to find that flash drive to be able to boot and do an OS. So I'm going to have to wait until then. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Later.